Hey, Warrior Saints. Glad to have you beautiful people with us as we continue our conversation from yesterday. That one. What's next?
I like this one. You put love with wild abandon. And I think that's fabulous. What did you mean by that when you typed it?
Why did you stood up though? I thought you were going to go into it. Love with wild abandon. Like just, if I don't believe in being reckless in life, sometimes it's fun, to be reckless, in a obviously a safe way. But as a lifestyle, we should, be serious about what we're doing, focus on what we're doing. Loving, however, with wild abandon, just throw love like a blanket all over the place, right? Like, I mean that first in the sense of, I try to love my bride just crazily, right? I don't always like my bride, right? I mean, there are moments where she and I will have a tiff and I don't like her, but I still am trying to I'm loving her and I'm reckless with my love. Love for me is not a feeling either. It's a verb, right? It's the action. It is an action actually, but it's the actions that we take to show love to other people. I try to love recklessly, wild abandon. I don't know how else to say it. I'm throwing love all over the place, even when I don't like.
I think it's fantastic. There was, when I read it, there was the immediate image that I thought of is a couple years ago during the Super Bowl, New York Life had a commercial that was all about love. And they actually used the Greek word agape, and they beautifully parsed out what that word means. And they talked about basically all of the topics that we've been talking about, which have at their core sacrifice, because agape love is that sacrificial love. It is that love that we are called to. It's that love that we are shown. It's that love that is the cross. So when I saw this love with wild abandon, I mean, it's part and parcel with that, letting the cross be the lens through which we see everything. Loving with reckless abandon, sacrificially loving with reckless abandon is the way that we allow the cross, or the actions that we take, the requisite action that we take from seeing the everything through the lens of the cross.
I think wild abandon, and when I shifted to reckless, to jump right onto what you said, it's like, don't be calculating about it. Just love.
Yeah.
Like I can't try, like I want to go back to Enron. I will now calculate all the risks when I, if I ever invest in another stock. But when I'm showing love to someone, I'm not calculating what are the risks. I just do it because God has told us to love.
Well, and I think when we do that, and when we operate in this way, we get to the final point on the list, and we allow in all things for God to be in the forefront of our lives.
Yeah.
God teaches us. I mean, we joke about it sometimes. God is love, but we are shown how to love through the commandments of God, who is teaching us what that means, what that looks like, and how we're called to get out there and actually do that. I mean, it's all about loving God and loving neighbor. Yeah. And at the core of loving God and loving neighbor is the word love.
Yeah.
So you have to do that. You have to love and find opportunities every day to put the other ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
And in so doing, showing them love.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to say it. I wrote this one. I in my list to my former things to my former self, I left it till the end. Save the best for last. But I wanted to make sure that I would tell myself, keep God in the forefront of your mind in all things, because the temptation, and I feel it too, you do too. I mean, we all do, is to become worldly and go the route of Adam and choose self and ego and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And putting God at the forefront of our minds, let him be the guide in all things we do. That's what you and I work so hard on, is to share and to teach the crucifixion life with people. It is, I mean, Jesus obviously is the best example of this, right? I mean, you know that garden story, the Gethsemane story, let the cup pass, nevertheless, not what I will, but what you will. He, the Lord, was willing, like no other ever before, since, or after, to do God's will and to keep God in the forefront of his mind, even at the cost of his life, right? I mean, that's the power of the cross, is that that's the power of Gethsemane. And we're called to do that, to emulate Christ in that Gethsemane moment. That's for us.
Yeah.
You know, we are called to do that, to take up our cross and follow him, to be crucifixional, right?
Yeah.
It's not always easy to do. I don't always do it because I'm a sinful man. But when I do it, when I try hard to do it, and like we said, I don't even know way earlier in this whole episode, but that sacrifices everything. When I do that, and in my life, I'm telling you, just not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, it works the way it's supposed to work. It works the way God wants it to work, you know?
Yeah. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to teach our kids.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this list as a way to things we would tell ourselves when we were younger, but this is also what we should start telling our kids and imparting to our kids. Proverbs tells us, we mentioned 22:6 earlier. In Proverbs 1, hear, my son, your father's instruction, reject not your mother's teachings. They are a fair garland for your head, pendants for your neck. It is that teaching, and it's not your father's and your mother's instructions, because St. Paul puts it into a different frame, saying, do not provoke your children to anger, bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. The teaching of parents is to teach them this sacrificial love, to teach them this sacrificial life, to teach them the crucifixional life, which means as parents, we have to do that. We have to learn that. We have to know and have to show it, to teach it, so that they can actually hear.
Yeah, totally. And that life, you know, is, I don't know, can you do this quick? I don't know if I throw it. Can you grab Psalm 1 and put it up?
It's already in.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's like you read my, oh, we talked about that.
We talked about it.
I was going to say you were magic. You shouldn't have said anything.
Sorry.
But all of it, maybe this is where we can conclude this. I've had fun with this. This was
has been great.
You know, is that as we write our own list, maybe they all want to do that. Write your own list of what you would say to your younger self. Ooh, we need to save this, Aaron. We need to do that. That's a great thing for our, great. As you write this list to your younger self, which hopefully you would teach to your children as you do to yours, and hopefully I did to mine, is that the Lord and his commandments, his law must always be at the forefront of our minds.
Yeah.
It's how Christ conquered. And so with that, that's why I said Psalm 1, which reads as follows. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. And we don't have it, I'm sure, for the screen, but the rest of that psalm, you know, blessed is the one who doesn't hang out with wicked, but he delights in the law of the Lord, and here's the outcome, the consequence. The one who does that is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season. Its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. The wicked, those who choose not to, are like chaff, which the wind drives away. Chaff is like, you know, the crumbled up, you know, dry, like whatever. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor the sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. I mean, like, it's a pretty clear thing. As we go forward, I guess maybe we can wrap here. Look, in your own life, definitely when we teach our kids, right? Let God's word be at the forefront of your mind. Delight in it, as it says in Psalm 1, because there will be prosperity. And I don't mean that in the Joel Osteen prosperity gospel sense. I mean, Psalm 1 says that in everything he does, he will prosper. That means we will be doing the things that God has asked us to do. That's prosperity to me. And if we choose not to, look, that's everyone's choice. But apparently, according to Psalm 1, that doesn't go so well. So may that be, you know, the forefront of all things that we teach ourselves and teach our kids.
I love it.
I love it too. Great stuff. Hey, beautiful people, we love you. We have referenced a lot our platform at warriorsaints.org. You can check it out. We have a lot of good stuff there, basically helping us with the things we've spent this last hour plus talking about. So visit, subscribe, get after it. Let's go. Love you. We'll be back on Sunday, Orthros, Liturgy 9 and 10. Respectively, and that's Pacific Standard Time. And then we'll be back again next week with more goodies. Love you. Have a great weekend. As always, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.